Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, he's the Lord Skeleton himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's shaking?
Well, I feel like this is deja vu, but we're here. We're good to go. Can't wait to see this happen. And for those folks that love Star Wars, may the fourth be with you.
And then, of course, we have the incomparable Lance Moss over at Lance Moss TV. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much. And also for the Star Wars fans, these are the ranchers you're looking for, as long as they're still alive.
Well, let's get right into it. NXT released 10 people over the weekend. Some of the bigger names was Dexter Lumis, Dakota Kai, Parker Boudreaux, which was the Brock Lesnar lookalike, and everybody thought that he was going to be the next big thing. Other names, Malcolm Bivens was released. Well, he chose not to re-sign his contract, so let me correct there. Raylan Devine, Draco Anthony, Vish Kanya, Mila Millennia, I don't know how the fuck you say that, and several others were released. So,
Now, is that Isla whatever? Is she Manila or whatever? Is she the one that's Santino Morella's daughter?
possibly, I was gonna say Millie Vanilli, but
I don't think his daughter's made it to the NXT roster yet.
Well, I thought that they already gave her like a roster.
she's still in training. If you're referring to the Rock, what's her name?
No, not her. Santino Morella's daughter.
Oh,
But I don't think she's using the Morella last name.
Right. They gave her a new name. That's why I was curious if that was her already.
well, that doesn't shock me considering WWE changes names like fucking I changed my underwear. Uh, Lynch, your thoughts about WWE releasing all these people?
Well, one of the dudes they released was the leader of a damn stable. One of them, Dexter Lumis, was in a major angle, and Parker Boudreaux was part of another angle. And yet, the last remaining member of the Undisputed Era who wants out of his damn contract can't get released. What the fuck?
Joe, you want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, again, I'm surprised with there's no reason for this, for these folks being literally, taken off when they're in angles like Lance said. You need new talent to be developed so they can go to the main rosters. Them getting rid of Parker Boudreaux, who they boasted was going to be the next Brock Lesnar, for him to go. It just shows me WWE has lost it. They have literally lost their edge, and they don't know what to do. All I can say is I hope these folks can go travel to a better. Now there's options. There's Ring of Honor that's being rebuilt. There's Impact Wrestling. There's New Japan. There is AEW, which I hope that's not the case because we don't need to see more, people from WWE filling into that organization. But let's keep going.
All right, moving right along. Alberto Del Rio's ex-wife had passed away due to some sort of illness. Again, details are very, very sketchy. Apparently, Alberto took to social media last week begging people for donating platelets and other blood donors. So it was kind of a weird, heartfelt thing, despite that, him being, he's not coming along with any of his previous wives, girlfriends, and significant others, and here he is pleading for I guess the mother of his children, which would be a fair factor, but I don't know, Joe. I think he should be begging for a job, considering he's burnt every bridge he's crossed.
Absolutely. Here's a guy that's been hired and fired all in the same time, in the same moment. WWE doesn't want him. I'm sure AEW doesn't want him. His home company AAA said no, you should go to AAA or AA. We don't mean Arn Anderson. And nobody wants this guy. And then he comes out of the blue, his wife or somebody passed away. My first thought when I read that report, I'm like, oh shit, he killed someone. He pulled a page on her. You ain't going away this time. The real tragedy is for the children that are
Yeah.
involved in this.
Yeah.
But he, this is karma. He's constantly in trouble. Rick, again, hope everything works out for his kids. That's the main thing.
Okay. I wouldn't necessarily call it karma, but absolutely, the most important thing is for the children. Moving along, Stu Grayson of the Dark Order, one of the original members of the Dark Order, has left AEW and is now a free agent. I can recall, Joe, again, we talked about how when we first saw the Dark Order, it was Evil Uno and just Stu Grayson, and you saw that these two aren't going to go anywhere. But Stu Grayson on his own is a phenomenal, incredible, powerful wrestler.
Oh, absolutely. When I first saw this guy, he was going to be the shining star of the New Order. He had it. He had the build, the skills. He had the it factor. I think the only thing he did not have was the power of promos. But again, they didn't really give these guys the power of promos. They didn't let them shoot promos to get that experience. It's sad that they would let him go because I think they both didn't agree on the contract. But main thing is there are alternatives. He can go find something better. And what we've seen, Rick, with many people, including those that leave the WWE, they go someplace else, Cody, and they develop themselves, become a better wrestler, better product, and then they're lured back in and they get a bigger paycheck. So, I hope that he does come back. I hope that they have him maybe in the House of Black or something. They should not let such a commodity go because he's not going to be treated well in NXT and WWE.
Well, I think the problem is, and I'm going to get to you and Lance in a second, is they had no leadership in the Dark Order. Unfortunately, Brody Lee, who did pass last year, which that was tragic, but even still, they didn't really have any real other leadership. They had Evil Uno, but everybody thought him as a joke. And even now, they started slowly bringing in more people, and it was like a really bad version of the NWO Silver. It's but they have great wrestlers, and I'm going to ask you, Lance. Do you think they should try to fix the Dark Order and maybe get a new leader, or do you think they should disperse it and have them go their own ways?
I'll put it like this. Every group that was formed in the original year of AEW has disbanded except for the Dark Order. And it's time.
Yeah.
It's just time.
Absolutely, and like I said, a lot of great wrestlers in the Dark Order. You have number 10 who was in there, great wrestler. John Silver, and his tag team partner, I don't know his name.
That's the bald-head kid, right?
Yes, John Silver's and
John Silver he's the
and
long
Ryan Reynolds Ryan
Reynolds, right? So Ryan Reynolds is the long-haired black. Has the long black end.
And that would be a great tag team to push on their own.
Yeah.
And they could do with the others, honestly, I can't think of anything that would really stand out aside from maybe number 10.
You know what? The big tall monster that they have. There's just missed opportunities here. The Dark Order was better when they were heels.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had someone leading them to do diabolical deeds. That should have been the House of Black. Aleister Black should have came in, smacked all of them, and say, boom, you are done. You're not, get this little masked kid out of here. Somebody feed this kid a sandwich, get him out of here. We don't want to see him anymore. And And kid, take Marco Stunt with you. He's about your size. He come back to kindergarten when you
Marco
belong.
Stunt's gone.
Oh, I
Marco's
know.
gone.
Just in case he ever comes back, get that little kid out of there too. You know, the point is, Aleister Black should have consumed the Dark Order, and that should have been his place. He should have had control of these minions, make them darker, and stick that. That would have been the proper calling for the Dark Order as it is. But they made them into goofs. They made them into these. They're best friends with a cowboy. Give me a fucking break.
Okay, so Terry G is in the chat room, and he asked this: how does it impact them if they finally disband them? Well, I'm not sure how it's going to impact too, but I think a lot of the only ones who I would don't care about is -1, who's his son. Okay, fine. You know what, kid? You had your 15 minutes. Go home, and then you have that fucking jerk off, Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
So other than that, I really, honestly, would not be hurt or would not miss if it, should they disband this stable.
You know, the bad thing is that these guys were pretty good. Hey Terry, how you doing? It is so bad that these guys just did not get a break because they deserve a good break. They need to be reorganized, and I think that's one thing with the problem with right now at AEW is that they're so focused on whatever that group that Steve Regal has, with the Backstreet Bruisers or whatever, with John Moxley and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
and Punk
and Wheeler Yuta.
Right.
The Blackpool
brother, yeah.
Combat Club.
Blackpool Club, yeah.
Yeah, it's Blackpool. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, say it 15 times fast, you know.
Yeah, that's Tasmania. That's Tasmania for you. But if they would have focused on the early guys and pushed some of these guys to give them their space, but not focus, because every Wednesday is CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan and Moxley, you're killing your own product by focusing on the former WWE guys. And then you got these folks who are just as, some of them are, in my opinion, there's a bunch of like Grayson. I think he's better than John Moxley, ring skill wise.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Moxley, phenomenal wrestler, incredible wrestler. Stu Grayson, again, good wrestler. I would like to see them gone head to head. I think that would be a great match could have seen. But you know what? I have to agree with you about the whole CM Punk thing. This was a guy who was, supposed to come in. Oh, I'm here to push all the other younger wrestlers and show them how it is. And since he's been in here, the only person he's put it over was MJF, who's already gotten over. So, and now CM Punk wants a title shot, and he's most likely, Joe, going to win the title.
That's unfortunately, but it is true. And you know what? And I can understand this. In a business sense, let's get away from the wrestling for a second. In a business sense, I can understand it because Cowboy, Adam Page it's a good worker. He's got the appeal, he's got the sex appeal and all that, but he doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't have. I just can't get in to like tuning in to see him. He's more of the chaser, not the chasee. I think that's what made Kenny Omega different. Plus, Kenny Omega had an entourage that you wanted to see that fucking guy get beaten. With Adam Page, it's just he's again great worker. He's got a good look. His promo skills could be a little better, but he's getting there. As a champion, he doesn't entice me. Now, am I saying CM Punk is better? No. Adam Page is a well better, younger worker. But Punk has the name value. that's good for us, a transitional champion. He's going to be in there. He's going to win the belt. He's going to hold it. And then I'm sure they're going to say MJF is going to swoop it away from him. That's the only way you could get Punk over and MJF over on the next step. And I think, Rick, that's what we're going to see.
All right. Again, I know we kind of got off the topic of Stu Grayson, but we are, Lance. I know that Hangman Adam Page is your boy, and I know you love cowboy shit, but unfortunately, you have to agree that when CM Punk faces him for the title at Double or Nothing, we might see a title change.
I'm thinking more likely than not. But honestly, Adam Page had a pretty good title run. Well, I mean, it could have been better, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So, honestly, it's long enough for right now.
All right. Moving on to the next subject. Bret Hart has signed a contract with the WWE. Now, keep in mind, this is a merchandising contract. So, which means you're not going to see him in the ring. You might see him here or there just for a quick promo to advertise the whatever merchandise they may be selling. But as far as him actually being able to appear on AEW, that's going to be interesting. This is what Booker T even gave his thoughts. Because it just can't be more so WWE. Bret Hart has some part of far as making this happen. There it is. Again, for the process you have to go through. Do I want to go to AEW? First of all, this is something that is going to change my legacy. Then again, I don't know how it's going to end as far as the AEW thing. Let's call the AEW an experiment. Now, Joe, honestly, again, Bret Hart, this merchandise contract. Does that mean that he cannot show up in AEW at the same time?
He cannot be in any important angles on AEW, and he pretty much can't do any storylines. You know, when it's a merchandise deal, it's a different thing. You're not secured as a talent or as part of the Legends deal. So if somebody buys a Bret Hart shirt, Bret Hart figure, Bret Hart this or that, that money goes to Bret. So, and if they want to produce, WWE wants to produce a new DVD or new figure or new T-shirts, they get it. They pretty much Bret okays it, and he gets a percentage. Does that mean he's locked in a deal with WWE for other things? It depends on the contract. To be honest, it depends on the contract. So I think right now he is open. He can go to AEW. He can show up and wave and do this. He can't be in angles. He can't be in storylines. He can probably show up and say, I support Canada, and that's it, and turn around.
Well, again, at Double or Nothing, they're going to have the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So I would assume
he could be part of that as well. Maybe he'll be a special referee.
Or the person who just hands the cup to the winner.
Yeah.
Real quick, Rick, let me just say, Terry says, yeah, I agree. AEW is not to a point they need to regroup folks to evolve. That's one thing. Then Rev Jake Slayer, he says, Anna Page put in more than a lot of great time in Ring of Honor. And again, Rev, Jake, I understand that. That's great. But, and I think that's my buddy Todd, I think it's the thing is, if anybody knows professional wrestling, you can put in great matches. You can put in you could be at 100% perfect in your craft. But if you can't shoot a promo, if you're not enticing the folks, and I hate to drop names like this, like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, if you don't entice the audience to come and see you, then you're just showing up and he's, pretty much just hanging out and just there with a beer, it doesn't captivate. His ring work is captivating. His outside stuff and his promos doesn't captivate me at all. But Rick, as far as Bret Hart, I think if his contract is allowed, that's only merchandise. He can do other things outside of WWE.
You know what, Lance? I want your thoughts on this one about Bret Hart doing the contract and possibly going over to AEW if he wanted to or if he could.
Well, let me say one thing that it's probably obvious, but some people would need to hear it. There's no way in hell he was going to have a match for either company anymore after getting hit in the head by fucking Goldberg 20 some odd years ago. That was never going to happen. But there was this rumor going around about Bret Hart possibly managing FTR. By signing this contract, that pretty much just shot that in the head.
Not necessarily. Again, it all depends on what they have.
In an angle.
Well, honestly, to be, and Joe, you can even add on this one. If he was going to be in AEW in that kind of capacity as a manager, wouldn't you want to sell the T-shirts there as opposed to WWE?
Yeah. Yes. So that in that aspect, WWE will say no. And again, we don't know what kind of provisos are in the contract. So that's another thing. If it's just merchandise, then that's great. That's awesome. That means he could get away with doing anything else. But if it's actively being on television more than once and in a manager type, I don't see Bret as a manager. He's another guy whose promo skills were the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. I just don't see that happening. I don't think FDR are Canadians. So.
I agree with you because, like I said, Bret Hart, legendary, great in the ring, but he never had the mic skills. He never really did, and unfortunately that's the one shame, but it is what it is. But I do want to move along. Apparently, WWE wants to have women's clothes more revealing, which I have no problem with. I'm sure you guys, I'll let you guys chime in real quick. But Chris Van Vliet spoke with Athena, who's previously known as Ember Moon, and she revealed about how the NXT wanted women's gear to be more revealing. According to the Observer, this is John Laurinaitis' idea, and now that Triple H is out of the picture, he has no say. I know, Lance, you're about to freak out and sigh and get all upset. Before you get hot and bothered, let's go move on to what she had to say. This is what Athena. To be told that I've done nothing wrong and I was taken off TV for doing nothing wrong, it hurts so bad because I was so happy walking into work. I remember when Shotzi left, I remember going to my makeup artist saying, I'm so unhappy. We would have to sit through stupid meetings about how to dress sexy, about how to wear fishnet booty butt cheek shorts, because we had a 2-hour meeting, and how to dress like Mandy Rose. That's not fair. Mandy's absolutely phenomenal in the ring and is an amazing person, but not everyone is Mandy Rose. Lance, I'm going to kick this one to you because I know that, one, you love Mandy Rose, and you also was a fan of Ember Moon.
I do, but honestly, I'm a big fan of Mandy Rose. But you said the one name that is behind this. It's never a good idea to listen to him. Johnny friggin' Ace. The man behind bringing the fucking Bella twins into this company. The dude that told Sid Vicious, it's a good idea to jump off the rope and snap your ankle. Yeah, that's a great idea. Who the hell decided it was a good idea to listen to this sumbitch? Now, granted, if the women are comfortable dressing like that, cool. If they're not, cool. Don't listen to Johnny Ace.
All right. Joe, again, Triple H again, loss of power in NXT, and John Laurinaitis now has the power, and apparently, again, like I said, women want to draw sexier. I have no problem with that, but you have to wonder what the women in NXT and are gonna think about that
Oh my,
situation.
oh my God, no, please don't tell Dewdrop to wear that. Please don't tell Dewdrop
You don't
to
want her to
dress.
wear a thong?
No, let her scare other people away. But before I finish my statement, Terry says if he understands correctly, Brett would have to sign a Legends contract with WWE to prevent him from being in any other promotion or event that is non WWE. Yes, that's true. But again, Terry, if he signed a merchandise deal, it depends on the provisos. They could have thrown in little things that we don't know about. So that's on that subject. But talk about women's lib in WWE. Let's treat the women like this. Let's treat the women as sex symbols. Let's get the pillows. Let's get the the pillows and the lingerie matches again.
Let's start calling them puppies all over again, and the
Let's not
Attitude
call
Era.
puppies. Yeah, let's go back to that because we know everything else sucks. Um, God, pervertive Johnny Ace. I mean, I don't have a problem with seeing Mandy Rose or somebody, Rhea Ripley or somebody, hell, Nikki Cross or anybody. I don't want to see Charlotte wearing a thong, and see Captain Winky poking his head out every now and then, seeing Dewdrop's flab flow like in the wind, like a nice calm sea, a rough sea. The weather started getting rough,
Anybody else getting nauseous?
exactly. We definitely do not want to see Tamina or Sonya Deville with her nose. They'll need
Well,
to talk.
Sonya, hold on.
Maybe.
I gotta say that even Tamina, I haven't even seen her. I don't even know if she's even around, and all she wears is like pants.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be more revealing for her to just be wearing shorts, and she'd be fine. As far as Sonya Deville, I don't know. She's got a hot body. Just like the nose, okay. The nose knows it, but everything else I got no problems with. I can't speak for Lance, but all right.
Thing is, I don't know. That's crazy. It is crazy.
All right, moving along. We have the Owen Hart Cup coming up, the tournament, and this one is really exciting for me. There's right now, so far, there's a few contenders right now. Here's the men's participants. Samoa Joe's in, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Dax Howard, and Darby Allin. And then we have two more qualifying matches. The first one's Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish, which will be tonight on Dynamite, as well as Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin. Now, guys, real quick, if you could have a pick for those two matches for the winners, who would it be? I'll start with you, Joe.
Let's see. Not Dante Martin, I can tell you that, on one. And what was the other qualifying one? I'm sorry.
It was Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin, who you don't want in.
Yeah, I want Rey Fenix. Go ahead.
And then you have Jeff Hardy and Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish. We do not need stumbling, bumbling Hardy to move into an AEW tournament. I think that will be. I think the legends should have their moments, but they should elevate the other guys. And I gotta say, Bobby Fish gotta get that win.
All right, and again, guys, both those matches will be on Dynamite tonight. Lance, I'm gonna ask you real quick the first match: Jeff Hardy or Bobby Fish?
Well, because there's already a member of that group in there, I'm gonna go with Jeff Hardy on this one.
Okay, then you have Rey Fenix and Dante Martin.
Yeah, let's go with Rey Fenix.
All right, Rey Fenix. You know what? I'll go with Rey Fenix too. I love Dante Martin. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. But Rey Fenix is just miles. He's like a few steps ahead of him, as quality wise.
Now let's go to the women.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the limit. We got the participants: Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, uh, Hikaru Shida, Red Velvet, Ruby Soho, and Dr. Britt Baker, DND. So those are those matches. Um, and I've not yet to see if there's any other qualifying matches. So right now, I think it's just it's going to be those three matches between the women's and for the cup.
You know what I could see, Rick? I could see DMD going all the way to the end because you're going to have Jamie Hayter helping her out. Even though she's in her own matches, I could see the brackets separate that she'll take out people and maybe come to the close to the end. And Jamie's just going to take out whoever's going to meet Dr. Britt Baker. And this is going to be her way of not only have something else to add to her, resume, but it'll put her back in the world title picture. Women's world title picture, should I say?
All right. Well, apparently, AEW is going to have yet a third show that's going to be on TBS, and right now, so far, very little is known about this one. It's not going to be a wrestling show per se. It's going to be kind of like sounded like behind the scenes show. It's not sure whether it's going to be like kind of like a reality thing where they kind of push storylines, or if it's some kind of a docu-series of what actually happens after a show. So right now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan has to make a huge statement tonight or a huge announcement tonight. Joe, what's your thought on this mysterious third show?
Oh, you know, we don't need a reality show. Kayfabe has been destroyed, stomped, burnt to a crisp. We do not need to see another show emphasizing on that. You know, basically, I just want to see another show that could be wrestling. Give the talent that are not booked at all, that are finding hard spots to be put in, give them the spots so they can have it. And in all honesty, I'm tired of Tony Khan coming up making these grand announcements, and it fizzles.
Well, it hasn't actually happened yet, but I'm just saying.
Oh, trust me, he will say something.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens tonight on Dynamite. Lance, your thoughts on the show?
I mean, the behind the scenes thing might be kind of cool for a few weeks, but if it goes reality TV, it's gonna be Brandy and Cody all damn over again, and nobody wants that shit.
Yeah, you know what? Here, I can understand on that one. I don't want to see like the roads to the top or Mr. and Mrs. Z or Total Divas. So I absolutely agree with what you're trying to say on that one. Real quick side note, guys. We know we've been waiting for the AEW console game, and they now have a couple of updates. It's in our HWR chat room where they have featuring Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. The name of the game is called Fight Forever, and it's going to be released on September 22nd. So, just a little tidbit for you guys there who have not been following along with the game or wondering about. And then we have one final topic. No, I'm sorry. I just added another topic. Don't mind me. I've been smoking a little too much weed today. Dark Side of the Ring will be having another series. There was speculations because it didn't have, there was nothing scheduled for like several months. People were saying, "Oh, they're gone. They're closing." And then Dark Side of the Ring, the producer of Vice, kept up and said, "We are not. We have no plans of shutting this down. We love this show, and this show will continue to move forward." Lance, your thoughts on Dark Side of the Ring continuing?
Well, I wasn't sure if they had ran out of stories because even back when I did Controversies and Scandals, after a while, the well starts to dry up.
That indeed.
But well, long story short, hey, they're keeping it going. It might be just a little time between, but hey, it's keeping a cool show going. So right on, right on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Joe, your thoughts on Dark Side of the Ring? Do you think it should continue?
Absolutely. There's still tons of stuff out there that they haven't really touched on. They really can hit stuff like Vern Gagne, his later years when he got into a retirement home battle. There's stuff with his son that could have, there's Medusa, there's Wendy Ray. There are so many great stories that have not hit that are tragic in their own way, that should be brung out. And there's still wrestlers that they could still do stories on who are alive today, that can continue.
Huh? You're
So,
kidding me? They got to do a whole season with Tammy Sitch alone.
oh, they could do a
The
freaking
many trials of Tammy Lynn Cinch.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see, Rick? What I would like to see, and it probably will never happen because of the money and all that. I want to see a sit down in Dark Side of the Ring exclusive with Vince Russo on one side of the table and Jim Cornette on the other side.
Well, you know what? You got to put a big, huge plate glass in between them.
And probably some security guards.
Yeah. Because that would be.
He will go for that motherfucker's throat.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I think they'd be talking over each other, and it would not really have that much context aside from just yelling and screaming fight. So there is one rumor that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could be producing the next series. Chris Jericho and Jim Ross and Jim Cornette will all also expected to be on hand for this series, the upcoming series. So one last topic of the night, and we have that's Tessa Blanchard, and she's apparently in hot water again. We all know the story about Tessa Blanchard years ago, where she was in a promotion, a similar promotion, where was accused of using racial slurs, and apparently those were falsified. Even so but it's all just kind of like still put a really nasty stink on her. She was over in Impact, and then she left on Impact on bad terms. She came to WoW, which is also going to be expected to be a TV series on CB or CBS very soon. But apparently she was belligerent towards, she was training, and she was belligerent towards the trainers, and they apparently was not happy with her, so eventually they had to let her go. More so on the TV show itself. It's going to be on CBS. It's CW. It's going to start over in the late fall. And right now we know that AJ Lee is the executive manager of this. What kind of role she's going to play on, whether she's going to be on TV or just behind the scenes, I don't know. So, but Joe, your thoughts on this whole situation?
For someone who has a famous father, for someone who has the ability, okay, to go further than a lot of the current talent out there, Tessa Blanchard just screws herself. She's the non-alcoholic version of the Usos. She just keeps getting in trouble. I don't know why, honestly, because again, the girl is gifted in the ring. She's got a famous Four Horsemen father, Tully Blanchard, who manages in AEW.
She has the looks.
She has the looks. Yeah, it's not like she's a damaged goods. So I think there are people in this business that have to sometimes fuck around And I guess she's the one of those people who have to fuck around. So pity on her, but hey, sometimes people don't learn and don't listen. Let's ask the Usos about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, some people unfortunately are untouchable, such as the Usos. We know last week that Jimmy Uso was arrested for another DUI, and yet WWE just happens to keep them on top. But you have somebody like Tessa Blanchard, who has not really, has had a really bad history. Again, with the whole racial slur accusation, that was washed out. Got rid of Impact Wrestling. She went left on bad terms. Lance, Tessa Blanchard, she has everything, but she's making all the wrong moves at all the wrong times.
I mean, let's face it. When your father is Tully Blanchard and your stepfather is Magnum TA, you figure she'd have some damn sense. But like I say, the not wanting to relinquish the Impact title to whoever. Granted, it was during a certain pandemic, and now the racial stuff. And are we sure she ain't alcoholic?
I don't know if she even drank. I don't know.
Maybe.
They did not say she was. They just said, in short, it was a real quick that while the management was not happy the way she was treating the trainees because she was a trainer, so apparently she was just wasn't treating them with respect. As far as you go back to the racial slur, Big Swole said absolutely she did not say that. So somebody did go to bat for her. Otherwise, the whole world, even we probably would have been like, she's a racist. And this is a person who's had 3 opportunities, and she's, for one reason or another, it's just gotten blown out of the water.
Some people are given all the greatest opportunities in the world, and they just ruin it.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. You have people.
I'm going to say this. I've been in the wrestling business. I got to meet some of the greats, some of the legends. I've got to work against some of them, and I got to work with them. And I was always humble, and I was a bad guy. But I was always humble, always respectful for the folks that are coming into the business. You want to encourage them and help them. Here's someone who has everything given to her. She's even won a men's world title in Impact Wrestling. Go figure. And she's traveled around and she treats people like garbage when she shouldn't be. Then that shows me that person should never be in that position to train people. Sometimes it looks good on paper. That's the old saying goes. But what really is, it doesn't amount to shit. So, yeah, no, she doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah, unfortunately I have to agree with you, and it's a shame because she is talented, and But I think, personally, if you ask me, her mental thought must be, you know what, I'm a Blanchard. My father and my stepfather are legends. I belong here. And unfortunately, you don't always have that coverage where they're like, the fuck you do, get out.
If she treats people like this, it makes you wonder how many times when she goes to a restaurant, does the food she orders have spit in it?
I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than once. So, guys, you know what? I'm going to wrap up this edition of a Hardcore Wrestling Rants. We are going to be here next week at 5 o'clock. I am very interested to see what's going to be on Dynamite tonight. This Sunday, WWE Backlash is coming on. We'll probably wind up giving our thoughts on I don't know if I want to do a podcast about WWE alone. Joe, could we be able to handle that?
After that, we're going to have to be dwelled into many drugs and drinks because it's going to be horrendous. WWE pay-per-views are never good, but if you wanted to give it a go and you want to do it live and get our live reactions, because I think a lot of people are missing that.
Yeah.
By all means, I think we can give it a
All
shot.
right.
Let's go. Just to remind everybody, I will be on a mobile satellite, so it's like I'm traveling around, so I'm not at home at that time. But hey, Rick, let's give it a shot and let's see how much damage we could do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank Terry G for he said great show as always. Terry, it's always great to have you in here. I know sometimes we kind of miss a few of your comments, and it's not unintentional. But thank you for joining us. Joe, you're over at Skulldon Realms. Tell everybody about it.
Absolutely. You guys check me out. Just do the hashtag Scoldrins Realm. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I am going to celebrate May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day, by playing a big storyline in Star Wars The Old Republic. And that will be live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Besides that, I'm going to be doing some camping videos and traveling videos starting next week, and now drone video. But we're back to Taz. Just thinking of drop in a thong, it kills you. So
I was talking about the reverse thong.
That's even worse. That's like trying to put Charlotte Flair in a thong. She don't need a thong. She needs a cup.
That's a wrong.
Yeah, that's a wrong. So check me out again, Scoldrins Realm. If you guys want merchandise from HWR, from Lance Moss, from Rick Heth, from Zoe Nightshade, from myself, go to scoldrinsrealm.live, hit that merch button. You can find all our t-shirts there. Support HWR. We need it. Lord knows we need to get the drugs because after watching a WWE pay-per-view, we need medication.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be smoking, my full eighth of weed there. So, Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. Tell everybody about it.
Well, every Tuesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV, and friends, I never know who's going to show up. And, well, the guitar builds are coming back back. It's just, I gotta have the weather work with me here because it's weather sensitive for the finishes, but I assure y'all it is coming.
All right, again we
need the gourmet, gourmet.
With the price of food nowadays, it's gonna be a little while.
Kill a squirrel.
Yeah, we can just see
my recipes don't work.
Squirrel on a barbecue. And before we go, I do want to give a shout out to our good friends, Mr. and Mrs. A, who are over at BC Games and More. They're on live every Monday night at 9:30. They play a lot of old retro games. They do trivia and much, much more. They're just really cool people to hang out. Again, BC Games and More in the group section on Facebook. So,
Rick, if I could throw in real quick, check everybody. BC Games and More, they will be live from HazardCon here in Erie, Pennsylvania, this Friday all the way to Sunday. So if you are in the Pennsylvania area, in the western part of Pennsylvania, go to HazardCon in Erie. They have vendors. You can see BC and Mrs. A. They also will be live streaming some of the stuff that's going on in there. So make sure you check them out. It's, again, great people, and most of the time they do their shows on Sunday night.
All right. So, for the hardcore crew, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying, we'll see ya when we see ya.
Buy the shirt!